Oh, here we go.
All right.
All right, we're here.
Sorry about that. And now I don't check. One, two. Yep. Okay, hear me. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay,
No,
so
you're
let's
live.
just take off from where you
Where
asked
we
to get.
left off. So, he asked the question, what were we thinking when we had to read the book again after we read it, basically the final draft, the final editing before we said okay, and
Hmm.
did we relive
To Facebook and not deal with.
well, that's Facebook that I'm
I
watching,
mean, I'm gonna stream the. Let me.
and now it's back up again and it's back out, it's going in and out.
All right. Let's see here. All right. Let's just try. Is it going? Is it streaming
it's
now?
it's back on Facebook now.
Okay. All right. Maybe it's too much bandwidth for this other thing. Okay. Go ahead. So.
So yes, I there were some moments that were relived. Yes, there was some, definitely some memories, and there were times I would feel the emotion, and it's like, do I continue pondering in this, or get back to the mind of the editor, or
Hmm.
it's just, did I cover everything? It was so much, like, for example, if you read in the dedication and to our spiritual mother, that's what I mentioned about the letters from the funeral home, and it's nowhere in the story, in the storyline. And so the editor, she said, "Oh my God, I wish you would have told me about this." And I was just like, I thought I did. I mean, it was just so much, shockers, but stuff that it was like stuff that was supposed to wipe you out, but at the same time, the Lord kept me. Seriously. It was stuff I did not experience. If it was going on, it went around me, went over me. Um, but yet and still, I had my hard times at this. I had hard moments, like the first time I didn't take one of my pre meds. It's in the book. I never felt that in my life. I said I wouldn't wish this on my enemy, and I understood the need for the pre med.
Hmm.
Um, and I fought through it because I was determined. I want to go to the movies and I want to go out to dinner.
Yeah, I
End
remember
Yeah,
that.
I didn't go to the movies. I did go to dinner though, because he made me. He's like, "No, you going home. You going to bed."
Hmm.
Yes, I had my superwoman moments where I just um I pushed through, because that's what um I don't know.
It's like.
She just texted and said she should go out and come back in,
Oh.
and she's doing that. So I hope I'm answering your question. What about you, Chris? As far as like,
When I read the book,
yeah, the final draft when we had to read and said
Yes. How
okay.
did you guys feel?
I was when I first read it, I was just like, wow. I mean, this is a story that gives it has some depth to it. Like it's not like an ordinary book that you just read, you just pick up off the shelf. I mean, it has some depth. It has some how tos, what not to do. I mean, it told the God honest truth, and so that's what really got just put me in awe. Like this is the final product. This is something that eventually I want to do other things with this book. And I don't know. It was just it was I don't know the feeling that and plus is so like all of this was a culmination of okay, this we wrote this book and then on the other side of that it was like this is your first book. This thing just just I don't know, it was just like wow.
I will tell this. I it was some stuff I learned that I didn't know, because
I was gonna
again,
ask
he
that.
he hid from me. Like, I didn't know that he had a whole breast moment where it was just all flashing in his face. I didn't know that. Um,
Mhm.
I didn't know that till the book wrote. I even, when I was reading the manuscript, I put it down. I said, You went through that sitting up. Where were you? Were sitting in the clinic? The clinic when you went through that? About it was like breasts everywhere and
Mm-hmm.
No, you just like for me, this thing is like just like walking down the street. You just like have these moments like, man.
just in you
Yeah.
just pop.
Just-
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then it
How did
huh?
how did you feel when you read the part? I mean, it one of the chapters even start off with you saying,
Chapter
nope.
one. You talking about chapter one? Oh
The
no no.
very
Yeah no.
What page?
okay,
What
well
page?
they have to
They
read
have to
that.
read that.
What page? What page?
That's the
Yeah,
first
because
chapter.
that was a
Oh.
shocker to me. I
It's
actually got
shocking.
mad at you reading that.
Oh.
You know what she's talking about.
Oh yeah.
No,
Well,
don't.
let me jump in.
okay.
Okay.
I felt the same way because for a moment I was like, in fact, I even discussed this with my wife, with Sandra. I read that part and I was like,
Mhm.
he know I love Carlette. He know.
Right.
And I was like, I couldn't believe,
Yeah.
but that tells us, and maybe Kecia can talk more to this than I can, but it tells you sometimes we say things in the heat of the moment
Mm-hmm.
that
Yes.
we're thinking like, did I just say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Chris,
But I think that
I couldn't believe you said that, man.
I'm sorry.
but
Yeah,
that was his
I got mad too.
reality. But that was his actual reality. And once
Yeah.
I stepped back from being sensitive to Carlette and read it in the therapist mindset, I was like,
Uh-huh.
wow, kudos to him for actually sharing that moment with the world because people could just look at you like you crazy just off
Right.
that one part.
Right.
Yes.
But you
Yes.
were able to share that, and that was your reality in that moment. And a lot of men don't say what they really feel. And when I reread it, I was like, this is how he really feels. I have to be empathetic
Mm-hmm.
towards his feelings, and I had to think of it a different way from your feelings,
Mm-hmm.
instead of just like, oh, you just said something about my cousin Carlette.
I mean, but okay, so in my defense,
Defend yourself. Defend yourself.
y'all know how Carlette can be sometimes. In my defense, y'all know how she is sometimes stubborn and
Yeah,
so we'll
I
praise the
get you.
Lord. Yeah. Yeah.
But I think that it was just more sensitive because of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Because naturally,
Yeah.
when marriage couples get into a heated discussion, you say a lot of things that maybe have been hidden that you didn't
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
say,
Yes.
in a normal, regular conversation. But I think because of the sensitivity of the situation, that was a shocker to some of us. Like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, you really said that?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, but it's not abnormal at all for
Mm-hmm.
those type of moments to happen. I
Mm-hmm.
guess it was heightened because of the
Right.
situation.
And
I think that could be that could be an entire segment
Hmm.
itself of
Yeah.
how, because we know we hear the cliches that those closest to you can hurt you the deepest,
mm,
Mm-hmm.
and there is no question that Chris
Mm-hmm.
loves his wife Carlette, but at that moment that was his reaction,
Yeah.
and it was just unbelievable. But and then
Hmm.
the I don't like using the word transparency a lot, but the courage
Mm-hmm.
that you
Yeah.
guys displayed throughout the book, because there's another section I couldn't believe you guys included in the book, but the
uh-huh.
courage that you
Uh-huh.
guys
Yeah.
displayed
Mm-hmm.
throughout the
Yeah.
book
Yeah.
was amazing. It was amazing.
Wow.
And
And
I was gonna say this one. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Carlette.
I know what you're talking about, even though you did not say what it was,
Yeah.
because we had to say it because it happened.
Hmm.
It happened. It has nothing to do with saving face, but we did not disclose names.
Hmm.
We but it happened, and it was a lesson in it for all.
Hmm.
Mm,
It's a lesson in it for all, what to do, what not to do.
Hmm.
And
absolutely.
see yourself it's okay to see yourself in the book and say, what would I do? Now, first of all, you don't know what you're doing until you put up to it. But
Mhm.
it's situation like this that you read, and if you're brought into a situation that may be similar, you can reflect back and say, it, do I want to be that person that I read about?
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
Do I want to do what they did?
Mhm.
And hear me, Pastor Bush, I know exactly what you're talking about. Uh and we did we we got phone calls saying,
Mhm.
did
Did
that
you guys struggle?
to do, what not to do.
Mhm.
And because you ask yourself, if I were in that role, would I do that? Would I say that?
Mm.
And ask yourself, if you're ever brought, not to, it has to be something directly like this, but something that would put you maybe in a hard place, like reflect back to this story. Do I want to be that person?
Mhm.
Am I making
Exactly.
sense?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And there's a couple of other there's one other section in the book where you guys discuss the insensitivity of um,
Yeah.
the
Mm-hmm.
spiritualists,
Right.
those that were trying to go
Yes.
real deep into the causes and the reasons that
Right.
you were diagnosed. And I was very happy that you guys gave description of what people were saying,
Mhm.
because when we are ministering to someone, we still need to be aware of what we're saying. The spirit of the prophet is subject to the prophet. That means we can
Mm.
control what we say. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter how deep we are in the spirit, we can control what we say. And some of the things that you shared were ridiculous. I couldn't believe people were
Mhm.
saying that to you,
Mhm.
knowing what you were going through, and they were trying. It was just ridiculous.
It's like, let me
People out and just keep your